10 months. That is how long evidence sat on a shelf linking the man accused in the murder of Eliza Fletcher to another kidnapping and rape from a year ago. Could Liza's death have been prevented if that test had been processed? Would it have meant that the man charged with her murder would be off the streets, not able to commit a crime? Or at the very least, he'd be on police's radar. It is a questions that we will never have answers to. But this case has highlighted a major flaw and problem in the system. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigators say that they are swamped with a rape kit backlog and they need more funding. They need more staff to process the kits. In response, the state's governor has invested $42 million and counting to address the ongoing issue. No consolation, though, for the family of Liza, who gathered for her funeral this week to say their final goodbyes to the wife, mother, and teacher who had such a beautiful smile and was killed on her morning run. Joining me now is Deborah Clubb, Executive Director of the Memphis Area Women's Council. She also was appointed by the mayor of Memphis to address this backlog. Deborah, thank you for being with us tonight. Did the system fail Liza with this massive backlog?
Eliza was certainly failed in that the person who assaulted her could have been, in fact, under investigation and arrest for the previous activity. I want to make clear that Memphis had an historic DNA backlog that went back 40 years. We began working on that in 2013, 2014. What we're having now is a backlog not under the ownership or control of the Memphis Police Department here in town, but the kits are sent to TBI on a timely basis from new cases, and now they're stacking up there due to lack of facilities and personnel at the TBI.
So we're looking at the turnaround time. I mean, 49 weeks for some of these. It could cost up to $1,500 to test a kit. I mean, this is astounding. In 2021, 300 assault requests were submitted. Where's the disconnect, the priority on getting these tests processed in time for it to make a difference?
Well, the problem is exactly there, that the legislature has done some work to beef up the TBI budget, but we need literally another lab or a much, much larger lab to help with the volume of crime incidents that Memphis has. Because as you can imagine, those scientists not only have to investigate and process the material from our rape cases, but also from murders, kidnappings, aggravated assaults, and all sorts of other crimes. So they've just got too much to do. And here on this corner of the state, we really need more facilities and more trained personnel. And those trained personnel aren't just a dime a dozen, and they're not standing around waiting for us to come look for them. They're very busy, highly skilled people. And once we hire them in the younger range, we have to make sure we have 2 to 3 years to train them to be ready to help with a rape kit case. So yes, they sit there. Now, I will say that miserable and awful as it is to think of 11 months, that's still better than we were doing when kits sometimes sat in Memphis for years before they were tested for a rape case. And that's what was in our historic backlog.
Wow. So this is better, what's happening now?
Not good is still better.
Not good is still better. Well, it's heartbreaking. You know, when you were appointed to the Memphis Sexual Assault Kit Task Force, I read that there were an estimated 12,000 stored rape kits at that time. Do you have an estimate on how many there are right now?
Those 12,700 plus have all been tested and are being processed through to match against the national database. I do not know today how many Memphis rape cases are at TBI. I don't have that information.
You know, Deborah, you, as a victim advocate, and I was reading a lot about your background today, I mean, you're doing so much to reach out to women who have been victims of these crimes. How do you talk to them? How do you reassure them and convince them that they're a priority, that what happened to them matters, and that there are people around doing everything they can to catch their perpetrator? How do those talks go?
Those talks are couched absolutely in words that include, this will take years.
And how do they respond to that?
Well, some of them simply don't have the capacity to deal over and over and over with being re-traumatized, retelling what happened, and waiting for those years to pass. So very many people do not report rape. As you know, I'm sure, 1 in 3 nationally is reported, and 25 out of 1,000 people who go on trial are ever convicted. So it's a miserable set of data no matter which way you turn it around. Yeah. And what we need here and across the country is a very differently energized and resourced system to respond to sexual assault, so that more people would actually report and stick in the process and not drop out and become one of those cases that's closed because the victim is no longer participating. Yeah. And that closes a lot of cases.
Right. And not only are they being told that you may have to wait years and they're being discouraged from even reporting it, but then you've got these perpetrators out on the streets that are able to commit these crimes until they're caught, if they're ever caught. It is a dangerous, deadly in some cases, and really unfortunate issue. Deborah Clubb, I appreciate you coming on. This is an important conversation. I hope you come back, because I think we should stay on this, not just in Memphis, but in every community that's dealing with the same problem.
Absolutely. We all need more resources and more enthusiasm. I promise you that. Thanks for your attention to it.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. Amen. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.